I mean, surely if Ronald Koeman loses, well, which he lost to Rayo Vallecano, surely he's gone, right? Surely the guy's gone. There's no possible way that he could be staying any longer. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking, and that's what I'm thinking to keep myself happy, or at least not just go into a full meltdown right now. Because Barcelona completely, I think, have run out their luck. I think that if you see how devastated this team is, as if as if it wasn't already devastated enough, you take a look at where we are, based in confidence. You see Memphis missing that penalty, and the show's over. It's over. I think that once you can see that your team is not motivated, once you can see that your team is all over the place, I think it means probably that this manager has to go. I mean, he has to go because when you think of how much work goes into developing a squad, this guy right now doesn't have any of that. And the Barcelona that I saw today is completely different from ideally where we want to be. And I know this doesn't come, and I could be biased. This doesn't come in the best of moments, as for instance, I literally just watched yesterday before to go to sleep the master class from Xavi as to how he wanna play, how he wanna take us forward, and when we start thinking about it, Barcelona are losing superiority of the field in every single key area of the field of football. In the football field, we're losing superiority in every single stage. In the defense, we're losing it. In the midfield, we're losing it. In the front line, we're losing it. And the main key thing about Barcelona, the way that they play, is the speed and the momentum of the game, the rhythm of it, the circulation of the ball has to be fast. The tiki taka isn't just the nice passes. And people are gonna be saying, well, tiki taka this, tiki taka that. It doesn't get you to anywhere. And yeah, it doesn't get you anywhere because now there are better ways to be more effective and direct in football, aggressively, physically. You take a look at Liverpool, you take a look at teams, you take a look at Liverpool, you take a look at Chelsea, how organized they are, you take a look at other physical sides, like even Real Madrid, for instance, in a Clasico that we just saw, two easy balls and they can cut you through vertically completely. And why Barcelona were so good before is because they could be able to do that both tactically. They were at a level so high up where their understanding of the game, how they defended, was with the ball, was by having the possession and by staying always one step up in front of their opposition. But physically, mentally, they were still also at that level. They were fast. They had that intensity. As H3 is saying here, we have no intensity. And before we had that intensity, but I don't think intensity is the right word. I think intensity sometimes is easy to throw it around because intensity kind of compels what an attitude you need to have and all of that. But I think that the best word to describe it is that Barcelona didn't have or doesn't have currently the urgency to win the ball back, doesn't have the urgency to try and play in the third of the opposition, because most of the time we get to that point and we will tend to lose the ball. And those are individual places where I think players like Coutinho, like Memphis Depay can improve. But when you really start thinking about tactically how this team needs to be settled, we're not wide enough. We one also don't have the players to be at the before, but the talent is here in this team to, let's say, improve or be better than what we currently are. And I think that is something that we need to blame at Koeman, because Koeman is 100%. An ambulance just went through. They're trying to save Ricky Puig from Koeman because he's choking him. But the thing is that is something that we have to improve. We need to be able to be faster and we need to cut vertically. And I think that one of the commentators that I was watching in Movistar being the network that carries on the games of Barcelona in Spain. And although I'm not in Spain, I was watching a stream from there, and he said that the football that Barcelona play right now, it's good, and particularly someone like Coutinho, it's good. It could be nice to see, but it's not as effective as it once was. And Barcelona need to evolve their footballing style, and I think that we have been so much, we have stuck to the idea and the philosophy of our football just being possession, that we lack completely all of the other assets that you need to be able to make possession as good as it once was. You take a look at Manchester City, for instance, and they play a very similar style. Or they aim, in my opinion, they have in the world the best style of any team in the planet. And the reason for that is because they have movements all around the midfield. When you take a look at a player at Barcelona, let's say most of the time when we had the ball with Busquets, Busquets didn't have a single opportunity or a single line to pass, a single outlet. And most of the time you had to rely on other players like Coutinho to try and make it. And Coutinho most of the time didn't win his one-on-one battles. And then you take a look at Nico Gonzalez, which Nico Gonzalez was by far the best player in the field for Barcelona because he understood what we needed. We needed to create those outlets, those movements, and he was constantly trying and seeking for an opportunity to get the ball, to tell Busquets, look at me, find me, try and get the ball to me. Ter Stegen was mostly looking for that outlet over the top or the first line of press that Falcao and Trejo, for instance, just constantly put on Eric Garcia and Piqué, and there was Nico Gonzalez. So I really want to attribute a lot of credit to Nico Gonzalez because he understood what we needed. We needed those outlets to try and play the ball, and we do not have that. We do not have that outlets, and that is why I think that honestly, looking back at all of the time that we've been here, and I've said reiteratively that Koeman's issue with Riqui Puig, just leave it there. Like, leave it there. It's their problem. But I think that his indifference wasn't that big. Riqui Puig could potentially save Ronald Koeman's job. Because Riqui Puig here, potentially in the midfield, apart from Pedri, he's the only other midfielder that can give you that constant movement. And you need that. You need those receptores. You need those outlets to keep the play progressive. Because most of the time, what happens? We take a look at what happens, guys. You take a look at it. Like, rewatch the game if you want to. I'll pay you $100 each if you do. I don't have that much money, but I'll find a way to do that. And just take a look at the space in between Busquets and Nico Gonzalez, and then the three men in front of him of Coutinho, Memphis, and Serginho Dest. The gap between those two lines of Barcelona was shameful, was humiliating. That's the sort of gap that you have with a team being managed, I don't know, but by low-end opposition. Like, literally, you have to be in the lower brackets of the La Liga, and I think that's currently where we are tactically, honestly, if we really do think at it. You take a look at it, and there's no link-up play there. How do you get the ball from Busquets or Nico to Coutinho to Memphis to Dest? There's no one there being an outlet, constantly dropping down and trying to progress the ball. Memphis had to do it most of the time. And Memphis is just one player. Before, Barcelona had at least six players that could do that. The two interiores, at least one of the fullbacks that will come inside, come in deep. And then you have the forwards. All of the forwards were able to cooperate realistically in what is the progression of the game. And Barcelona currently doesn't have a single player that can do that. And like I said, I think that the one that actually can, well, is injured in Pedri, but then the other substitute has to be Riqui Puig. And he's not even in the plans right now. And that's embarrassing. That really is. Then the other thing that I really wanted to mention for this game is that if you take a look at how we use, for instance, our final third opportunities, most of the time where we're looking for the crosses and looking for an unorthodox way to try and attack the box. Why do I say unorthodox? Because literally that's probably the most common way of attacking your team. Try to break them down through the flanks. And the problem is, guys, that we cannot attack through the flanks because we don't have players to do that. You take a look at Serginho Dest, and he doesn't have the speed to... I don't think speed is the right word. I think acceleration is the right word. Because on one-on-ones, when he's running and he has the field in front of him, Serginho Dest is quite good. Sí es bueno. But the problem is that when you find him just stopping the game and trying to beat the man one-on-one, like face to face, when you don't have that much room like I say, to be pacey, to use your speed to try and beat him, then he's not as useful. On the other side, Memphis Depay is good at that. But most of the time, for whatever reason, we're looking for Memphis to retain the ball a bit and then just overlap it to someone like Jordi Alba. And once you do that, you're constantly crossing, which is good, guys. Can be an outlet. But when it's not working, when you see Rayo Vallecano just being constantly tied, your movement of the ball has to be faster and has to be able to go from Dest and Jordi Alba to coming deep to the midfielders, to a Frankie de Jong is not today playing, but a Coutinho, a Nico Gonzalez. These players have to be able to grab the ball and then circulate it back again to the wingers per se, and then bring it back to the midfield. There has to be a constant circulation of the ball so that when we can have one of these midfielders joining in the box and try to find a space. But right now there's no space because all of our passes are slow as fuck. And when they're slow as fuck, you just allow all the time in the world for Rayo Vallecano to set up defensively. Low blocks are such an easy thing to do in football that is honestly stupid that Barcelona are continuously trying to play through the flanks and not opening them, because we don't want half the players to do that, and two is literally the way that we're losing every single time. It's so easy to beat Barcelona, and that is the problem. It's so easy to beat Barcelona that every team is trying to do it. Because it's simple. If I'm a manager and I take a look at all of the teams that I can face, honestly, on top of Barcelona in the table, they are there for a reason. They are there not because they have gotten easier fixtures or because Barcelona have been unlucky. They are there because they're tactically more difficult to beat than Barcelona. And that is the problem. When your proposition of a game requires so much variables to be almost perfect, like Barcelona does, it's hard. It's really hard to beat them. And if you're not gonna get a manager who can put his own style, and here I put a little bit of the blame in Laporta, guys. Here I really put a little bit of the blame in Laporta. And yeah, honestly, guys, I'm sorry if it's lagging or not, but the thing is that my internet here is shit. I don't have no control of it. You have to bear for it for at least two more sessions. Yeah, I'm not at home. I just want to go back to Peru to continue working where my usual setup is, but what can we do? What I was saying is that where was I? I was saying about okay, I was talking about when your tactic is so easy to be able to be beaten, then you either and here, like I said, I'm blaming on Laporta here. I blame it on Laporta. You need to be able to change it up a bit. You really need to be able to change it up a bit. And if Laporta doesn't want a manager to come in and do something different, to have a manager that can come in and do their own style, that Koeman did, for instance, at the start, and you're forcing him to play your own way, you're gonna get absolutely nowhere. And if you want to play your own way, your Barcelona way, then make sure to get someone that actually wants to do that and can achieve that, because it's demanding. And get, like, fucking hell, get Xavi now. I know that you may be trouble, but get Xavi now. Get Xavi now. It's what you need, is what this team requires, and it's what this team actually needs, like I say. I'm trying to see what's happening with the stream right now. Don't over the place. It really is. It's going like from 3 megs per second, dropping to like 400. I absolutely don't know why. I'm gonna close everything else that I have on my computer right now, just so we can do this properly. But like I was saying, dude, it's just annoying that Laporta cannot see that we need a change, and we need a change ASAP. We really do. If you want to do something, if you want to change it up, make sure, if you want to play your style, make sure that you have someone competent enough to make it work. If you say that sacking Koeman financially is not a problem, then act on it and act on it. You know, not just forget that we are even here. And that is the last thing that I want. It's annoying. It's really, really is annoying. Both things, the stream and Laporta. Like I say, I blame it on Laporta a little bit because if you actually were gonna do something about it, you would actually do it. You wouldn't just wait for the last minute to actually try and change a manager. I'm looking at, so of course I can see stream labs, but I mean, there's nothing I can do. The internet is just so laggy right now. It's just so laggy. It's how it is, guys. Hotel Wi-Fi. It's reliable for like a shit otherwise. But anyhow, let me know your questions, dude. Let me know what you fucking think of this. Laporta is a coward. Laporta has a lot to blame. And like I said, yeah, I do think that Laporta needs some blame. Because like I was saying, it's his fault that one, we're here in this stage. And it might be his fault that we do not get Champions League football because he had that opportunity to bite the bullet, to pull the trigger. And if you want to pull the trigger, do it before it's mathematically impossible to try and get back in the Champions League, right? That is kind of what we're hoping. That is what we're trying to avoid. So go ahead and do it, Laporta. And then the second part of it is that when you have Koeman, you are not gonna. You need to be able to, one, give him what he wants to work with, or two, if you want him to play your way, at least, well, I don't think there's. If you want someone to play your way, get a manager that you know can make it better. You know, get a manager, get your team playing that way. You know, training to the necessities that they need, because right now we are certainly not close enough to that stage. And like I said, I was watching Xavi's masterclass the other day, and God, he knows, like the guy knows. And I'm sure that at least from a tactical standpoint, at least from the point of what we require tactically, I'm sure that he is the man to get Barcelona right on track. From the point of whether he can manage the big egos and all of that, I'm not too sure just yet. That is why I think it's very, very important to try and take it easy with him, and particularly for him to take the job where there is no Piqué, no Busquets, no Alba, no Sergio Roberto, or at least be able to tell them, you know what, guys, I'm going to take it easy on you, and you're not going to be playing that many games. So, I don't think we should call on Xavi, but like I said, you had the opportunity to change your manager, Laporta, and you didn't. And now you have to stick with him, and we all have to stick with him. I think that is just the reality of it all. So it's quite unfortunate. It really is quite unfortunate. And this internet just keeps being crap, dude. Just pause the video and come chat with us. Requesting everyone to comment on Culler's wall to Paul Koeman. Imagine thinking we'll beat Benfica. Dude, at this stage, I'm not really sure. I think I might just leave it here, you know, guys. 20 minutes, this stream. The stream works now okay. Apparently. Dude, who recommended McDonald's Wi-Fi? I need to get that. Unfortunately, in England, McDonald's are like, not like the US where you have one every single step of the way. Here in England, you have McDonald's like, well, there is one in the center, and there's one by the store, by the railway station. Those are two. There's no McDonald's near university. I think there's two McDonald's in Bournemouth. Just two McDonald's. You know what? Let me check. I'm intrigued. Dude, I just want to get back home. I want to pick up all of my stuff. Graduate, for fuck's sake. I want to graduate, which I'm really excited for. And tomorrow I'm moving. So that's cool. But then I want to get all my stuff back. And I want to get back to home. I want to get back home in Peru because you know what, guys? I got myself a PS5. So when you get a PS5, I can do a rebuild series of Barcelona and basically show you how good I would be as a manager. And that's kind of what I want. So That's where I wanna do. How did Koeman kick Suarez? Because he wasn't in the plan and he got Luke de Jong. That tells you everything you need to know, guy, about where we are right now. That really tells you all. So, guys, like I said, I think I talked about my rant at the start. Good. We discussed a little bit of the players. And honestly, apart from that, there's not really much we need to talk about. Because this team actually sucks. It actually sucks. It's the worst Barca side I've ever seen. Like I said, there's no desire, no motivation, no anything. And I'm just gonna call it quits. Go on Twitter, guys. Go on Twitter. I'll talk on Twitter. Right now, it's just bullshit. It really is. I'm so done with this team. Like right now, Barcelona just literally posted Ronald Koeman's analysis of Rayo versus Barca, and it's complete bullshit. Like, it's complete bullshit. I bet you 100% that even Memphis Depay wants Koeman gone. Like, even Memphis Depay wants Koeman gone. That's a fact. That's a fact.